A5004, Buxton towards Whaley Bridge, into a series of bends, and we know from historical data we've had several motorcycle fatalities in these series of bends. So why are people getting it wrong? All this information is here to help us. There's the towing in arrows telling us the white line's coming. We have parking on the near side, could be vehicles moving in and out of there, but that information's there for you to glean. Good cross view, vehicles coming towards us. Again, double white lines still in operation in the centre of the carriageway at that point, broken on our side. And here's the switch back from the centre white line, oncoming bus. Here's the switch back to the solid white line on our side. Another series of bends where we've had numerous fatalities as we're on the approach. Good early view of this pedal cyclist, trying to avoid the meet in the sandwich, so let that silver car go past, then we're going to increase road speed towards this right hand bend. This junction's slightly out of view as we approach it on this right hand or on the apex of this bend. There's a lot of information here. I'll be keeping my speed down. I can't see into it. There's the junction sign. Is there some vehicle movement on or around that area? As we go into this next right-hander, there's the junction towards the left side there. But there's plenty of view at this speed. If the speed's correct, always be able to stop in the distance you can see to be clear. It's quite a murky day at the moment, isn't it? We're high altitude at the moment, but looking well ahead, we can see a white vehicle in the distance going away from us. Good cross view of where the road's going round to on the left-hand side of the screen there. Another cross view of a large white vehicle in the distance going in the same direction as us. Warning triangle of bends to the right, then the left, going downhill. Bike always has a tendency to run away. It's quite a sharp bend, this. Easing back on the throttle, getting the appropriate gear, back onto constant acceleration. That's just the engine pulling as we go into this left-hand bend. Solid white lines in operation in the centre of the carriageway. Overgrown area here, so the visibility reduces slightly as we go from bright into kind of darkness. As we exit these series of bends, we've still got the double white sign, double white lines in the centre of the carriageway. We've just got an early cross view of a vehicle, then a white van coming towards us. Sacrifice your position for safety. And whether you notice there, that white van kind of had its wheels right on the double white lines, didn't it? Slight damp patch in the centre of the carriageway, and then a real tight left-hander. But as we drop down towards this, you can't see it from the camera angle, but a good cross view. You can see any vehicles coming towards us. Something coming towards us, we always want to be slightly away from that vehicle. As we go into the left-hand bend, Sod's Law dictates we always meet it kind of mid-bend, and there's that van. Always sacrifice your position for safety. Oncoming vehicles, right-hand bend. Easing as we drop down towards the right-hand bend, easing off with the acceleration, tucking ourselves into the near side, extending that safety margin around the right-hand bend. Slow on the road. Again reinforced by a warning triangle. So that's like the second right-hand bend really, so we're into a series of them. Still downhill, easing back and then back on constant as we tip into the right-hander. Maintaining the bike stability as we start to go uphill now. But again, just around this right-hand bend, what potentially could be the hazards? Could there be something stationary? Could there be animals in the middle of the carriageway? Could there be another pedal cyclist? Could there be somebody, turning across our path or doing a U-turn? All this information or things that I'm thinking about as I'm riding down the road to keep yourself safe. There's that white vehicle that we saw very, very early on in the commentary, really, and we've now come across it. Slight damp patches on the carriageway now, so I'm picking like a dry line. Always safest to be on the dry line on a motorcycle. Sometimes we can't actually do that, depending on the positioning, but we'd always sacrifice our position for safety. If we can't be on the optimum line, then we just reduce a bit of speed to compensate. Easing back into this left-hand bend, out near the white line, extending your view round it. Nice smooth curve into the left-hand bend. In towards the next right-hand bend, and we're starting to catch this large vehicle up ahead now, aren't we? Again, I don't want to be crawling all over the back of it. I'm just going to move up onto it when I'm in a position to potentially overtake it, given the correct speed limits. There's the break in the white line. That's the engineers telling us the road's opened up a little bit. So all this information is here to help us really. It tells us exactly what kind of road environment. So if you're not a regular user of this road, this information, if you used correctly, will give you an idea of where the road's going to the left or to the right, and whether or not we can move up for potential overtaking opportunities. Right-hand bend, the truck's braking, so we know now this type of driver, somebody who touches his brakes on the approach to most of these bends. So we're looking for that break in the white line now potentially. There he is again on his brakes. So we're just moving up ever so slightly on him now in anticipation of that break in the white line. Looking down the near side as we drop downhill. Unfortunately the camera angle does foreshorten it. I've probably seen the break in the white line as we come off this bend. Potentially, no, not yet. So we're just hanging fire, we're easing back a little bit to extend your view down the offside. There's the break in the white line, so I'm mirror checking. I'm going to move out. No increase in road speed, nothing coming towards us, and we pick the acceleration up at a nice, clean, smooth overtake, returning to our own side in plenty of time for that double white line system coming back into operation. Into the 40 miles an hour, bang on 40 miles an hour. It's always easier on a motorbike to change the speed of a vehicle by accurate use of that throttle to meet the ever-changing road conditions up ahead.